Welcome to Mischief TV. I'm Hunter, and this week we worked on another four-wheeler. Yes, another four-wheeler. And it was exactly as much fun as the last one. You guys will notice that we have yet another four-wheeler sitting here, and that's because this is Byron's 125 RFZ. Blah, 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 blah. Shut up. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And I say that because I'm right. Past me is correct. This is one that we haven't seen on the channel before, but it is very similar to one that we have had on the channel before. If you guys remember the very first trade, the very first fun toy that we got, that actually is the reason that we have our Predator drift car right now. We had a cheap Chinese 125 four-wheeler that we completely went through. So if you guys haven't watched that video yet, or you guys are just coming to the channel, welcome. Please hit that subscribe button if you'd like the video, and if you haven't, hit it, because I can bet that 94% of you aren't subscribed. I actually know that math. It's like statistically in my brain. But go check it out. I'm telling you to go check it out after this video, because that video is much longer and I touch base into some things that I don't really get into on this. But I'm gonna quit yapping. Let me take you to the office where we will explain more about this 125 Blazer. Welcome to my office. You guys saw this in the intro, but this is my nice little cozy corner where I sit here and I got a little spot for my Dr. Pepper, and I like to just sit here and think and play on my phone and consider all of my life choices that I've made to get me to this point and playing with somebody else's four-wheeler. And it's got license plates that we've got up on the store. It's got the Hoosiers that we got for the vet. It's got all my tools that I've been using in the past. And the reason we're sitting up here in the office is because I want to tell you guys a couple things here. First, this four-wheeler is very similar to the one that we had in the past, so if you guys haven't seen that video, I know I just said this a second ago, but seriously, if you guys haven't watched it, go watch it. It's a lot longer than this one, and I do touch more into some things that we don't get into on this for different reasons. But number two is it is a 4-speed, 4-up, 1 reverse. All the gears work fine, the engine works fine. We knew that coming into it, so if you see me just trying to start it or jumping straight into trying to see if it'll start, that is because we know that it runs and just had problems running, not just getting to that starting point. So that's why we just kind of jump straight into trying to see if it'll run and drive and not jumping straight into the base maintenance on it. And then the third thing I want to touch on is this is a basic maintenance video. So we're going to do spark plug, we're going to do an oil change, we're going to do a tune-up, we're going to do all the base things that we can do. It does need some suspension parts, as we found out later on, but we will get to those in a later video, so make sure you guys stay tuned for those. Let's get straight into working on Byron's RFZ 125 Chinese Blazer. Can you see how excited I am? Okay, let's do it. I'll get up, let's do it. So we'll start this project right away by taking off all the body panels that we don't need. This includes the rear fender, the 2 side body panels, and any other body panels or plastics that are otherwise in our way, because we need to be able to access the carburetor and all the other engine accessories so that we can tune them later on. So I'm going to go ahead and do all this, as you guys can see very quickly, and let's move on. Alright, now that we've taken the back of it off, we can get to the engine, the carburetor, and everything else pretty easily. We're going to go ahead and see if it starts, see if where we're at on a base plate. I know that some of the lights work. I know that it does start and run. The clutch is really hard to pull in, so that could be part of it, but yeah, let's just see if it starts. So the key is already on the on position. Alright, so my original plan was to walk you guys through an oil change, and then the GoPro stopped recording audio, and I gotta do this as a voiceover, so I hope you guys enjoy this. The tools you guys need is pretty simple. You guys need a socket with the right size, you need a funnel of your choice, an oil pan, and the oil of your choice. I chose to use 1030 diesel oil. That's what I put in all of our toys, all of our fun little motor vehicles. That's what I'm going to put in the ATV. It's what we put in the go-kart, our dirt bike, our mini bikes, you know, all the toys that we've had so far have gotten this oil, and it seems to like it. So you guys may have your own opinions on what oil you guys use. Actually, I'm quite in tuned and intrigued to hear what you guys have and what you guys use instead of the 1030, but everything I've found says that will work. So we went ahead and pulled the dipstick out. It did not look great. So that verified that we need to go ahead with the oil change. So we'll pull the plug out and make sure we get some good oil put in it. But you want to pay attention when you pull the plug out. One, on threads as it comes out, you want to make sure it's not catching or, hard to come out. That is a sign that you need a new drain plug and or seal. Also, look at the color of your oil, because as you can see here, this was thick and black, which means it probably is old or was the wrong oil, or could be what somebody had laying around. We don't really know. The point is, you want it to be clean, clear oil, like what we're about to put in it. So you get your funnel set up, you start filling it full of nice clear oil, like so, and then we're going to flush it out. So we're going to put a lot of this oil in it without the drain plug in, to flush a bunch of that old oil out. And this is an oil flush. If you ever hear an oil flush referenced, it is exactly this. It's pushing the nice clean oil through, too much actually, to force all of that old goopy oil out. So I did this for probably 5-10 minutes, let all of that old gross oil sloop out until we had some nice clean oil, as you guys can see. Now I'm going to be so honest in this segment. I knew I was telling you guys about the clear oil, but what exactly I was saying or yapping about, I don't know. So I'm going to try to say a base cover on it. Basically, you just want to make sure that this drain plug is okay when you put it back in. Make sure that the seal and everything is fine. Make sure when you put it back in that you're not leaking any oil out of it. So just verify that everything is nice and tight when you put it back in. Thread it in by hand and then tighten it with the ratchet until it's tight. Maybe a little bit tighter, but you don't want to break it. If you break one of these, you're going to have a really, really bad day trying to get it out upside down. So be very careful when you get it tight. As you can see, I just go to tight and then we stop. So if you guys didn't know how to do an oil change on a four-wheeler, now you do. Then the last check is to fill it up with clear oil. We put probably a quart of that 1030 diesel in it, and it filled it right back up. They normally don't hold more than a quart. So keep that in mind. Fill it up. Double check your oil. Always put less in it than you think, because then you have to drain it all back out. So start small, then put some more in it, and let's move on.
The next thing we want to check is the spark plug, which is right here. You can normally find it coming off the spark plug wire, an ignition coil pack. So I've already got a socket here that fits it. Normally that's pretty generic. Sometimes you need a special socket. Most of the time a deep well fits, and then we'll break it loose. Twist it on out of here. And there we are. And it looks pretty dirty. I'm going to try to clean it up, probably sand down this tip a little bit, and look into getting a new one. You guys will notice we're on the tool bench now, and that's because I just wanted to show you very quickly how I was going to try and save this plug before we go and get another one. So you get a towel and you just kind of wipe off all this old oil, gas, gross stuff. I mean, it could be a mixture of everything, really. You never really know what has been in it, especially if you're getting it from somebody else. And since our goal on this is to tune it up and make it run as best as possible, I will probably end up getting a new plug. But for the time being, we will see if this one still works. You see I already cleaned it up quite a lot there. And we'll take some sandpaper. I got a little piece of 80 grit. We'll slide it right in here, and we just want to get that contact sanded down. Just get it back down to bare metal. And then we'll do the same thing to the tip right there on the end of the plug. And there probably are easier ways to do this. I'm not saying this is the right way by any means, but this does work. And as long as you don't bend the piece of metal so you have to re-gap it, you can kind of get some. You can see we already got bare metal back on there. So I'm going to do this a few more times, and then we'll throw it back in and move on to something else. One more thing to point out here. You can also use the sandpaper on the threads up here if they look a little dirty like this one does. You just be a little careful. So instead of squeezing it super tight and trying to get it through here, we're just going to grip it real loose and just kind of spin it. Kind of knock some of that dirt out. We're not trying to grind down the threads. We are just trying to knock some of the dirt out. You can see it's already cleaned it up a bit. I did the same thing down here. Just wrap it. Take it around. See, there's a difference between me pushing hard. You can see it doesn't spin, and just pushing lightly and spinning it around, and that knocks all the dirt and everything off of it. So I'd say it looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and throw it back in and see what we can work on next. Now that we've got it mounted back in, we'll get our socket and we'll give it one nice snug turn. Then we'll take our wire, and you really want to get this on here tight. You should hear it go click, and spark plug is done.
Alright, there's not much more that we can do now without starting it or messing with the fuel system, or, you know, at least seeing if it tries to start. So I've come to the decree that this battery is bad. We're gonna have to pick up a new one, but this jump pack might have enough juice in it to turn it over. So we're going to find out. And if it does turn over, see how fast it's already dying, but if it does turn over, we will dive into the carburetor and tune the rest of it. If not, this will have to wait until we get a battery. So let's start it up. Key. Clutch is already, or no, these are just brake levers. There's no clutch on this thing. Moving on from that, I was going over the tires, trying to air them up, make sure they held air, and I noticed that one of the rear tires has something pretty funny going on with it. It's got some metal sticking out of it, if you guys can see it there, and it's not seated on the bead anymore. It wouldn't hold a lick of air. So, pull that out. There's a hole right there. You guys see it? Right where I pulled it out. I've got a tire patch kit. We're going to try to use one of these small ones. Patch it real quick, rebeat it, see if it holds any air. Alright, you can see the patch right here, or the little tube. I guess these aren't the patches, but I cut a little piece off, shoved it down in there. You don't need the whole thing because it's such a small tire. But we also have plug bond, and we're going to cover this in plug bond and hope that this seals. If it does not, I will drill it out and put the entirety of one of these in here and really hope that it seals, or we'll have to get a new tire. But honestly, this should be enough. Just shove one of those down in there, put a little bit of sealant over it, give it a little bit to dry. It should be good. So we will see you guys when we get this done, and I'm figuring out a battery for this thing. So I know we said we were going to get you guys when we were doing the battery, but we moved on because why wait when we have other things to do?
Never put off until tomorrow what can be done today.
Back over at the tool bench, and what do you know? We've got a battery. Look at that. Now this one probably is one that we are going to have to fill up on our own. Those are always fun. Love that. Yeah, it is. See the tape. And then this one should be the acid. If you guys have never... Oh, this is one of these. If you guys have never done one of these before, instructions are pretty simple. I'll very quickly see if I can find the picture diagram, so it'll be simpler than me explaining it.
This is it. This is the answer.
Yeah, okay, so you pop it off, pop the little covers off. There's little caps under here, right? If I can... There's our holes, right? And then we'll take this off and we'll like that until it fills it all the way up. And we'll just do that until all the chambers are full. Normally you'll get one big tank. I had one a while back. I think we did it on the last four-wheeler. It was one big tank. This one is set up. Yeah, here it is. This is the other style. So you'll get one big tank that's got the acid in it, or you'll get the little tanks. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this full of acid, and we will see you guys in a minute when I have that done. You can see it here. I've got the light on. You can see the level going down as the acid's being filled into it. So once this is full, we will have to charge it up, and it says can take up to 1 hour to 4 hours. So I'm going to immediately throw it on the charger, and we will move on to something else. Now, we let it charge. So, pull this in, key on,
Battery's been charging for probably an hour and a half since you guys saw that last clip. Yeah, should have enough power, and if not, we will give it some go-go juice. So, jump packs charge. Let's see. All right. There we go. Key seems loose. Okay, choke it up. Okay, let's get some starting fluid. Spray some into carburetor. We have not checked the carb. We have not done any air fuel tuning or anything of that sort yet. It's choked on. Ready? Huh, this is very familiar to another four-wheeler that did the exact same thing. Yeah. So that's bad. I can already, I mean, instant red line is bad. Never, ever, ever ride it like that. Yes, they're designed to be pushed at red line, but they're not designed to start up and immediately go to red line. That's why I killed it pretty quickly. So let's dive into the carburetor. The carb is right here. Right there. You guys can see it better on screen here. And that's what we're going to be diving into. So I hope this angle is doable for you guys. First thing we're going to start off with is the air filter. Pop it off. And the reason we're doing it on this side and not the other side at the moment, we will move over there, is the choke is right here, and I've been messing with it a little bit, and it does not seem to want to return correctly. Like the spring or something is not tight. Something's not correct when it's choking, and then we're also going to get into the top here and mess with it. So I'm going to do what I can to figure this choke out, and I will update you guys in a minute. And that might have been the easiest fix yet. The cable had actually just popped out and it locks in. We have choke movement. See? So, choke's done. The next thing we're going to tackle is this top part, and it's supposed to be a little bit tighter than it is. I did not loosen it. Be kind of careful when you take this out because there's a spring and cylinder assembly, and sometimes this gets put in backwards. See how it's got two different sides? My guess is it was in backwards, and it's just kept it wide open. So let's spin it around, slide it back in. There we go. See if this made any difference. If this doesn't do anything, the fix that we did on our last four-wheeler was take this little brass tube out, and that actually solved our entire issue. So let's try and start it up and see if anything different happens this time. All I did was adjust the throttle cylinder. As you guys just saw inside the carb, that actual cylinder goes up and down as you pull the throttle. And we adjusted the choke. We've done nothing else. We haven't tuned it, haven't tuned literally anything else with the carburetor. I am going to leave the air filter off though, just to verify that the choke is working. So, key on, wiggle it till it's on, kill switch. You guys hear that? Hold on, let me do it again. Hold on, those are good noises. Oh, bring it back, that was a good noise, it wasn't dying, bring it back. Okay, try choking it. kill itself by blowing itself up. That's a plus. It's not trying to suicide bomb itself. However, oh, it is idling on its own. Would you look at that? I was holding it there for a second. Make sure we got everything tight. Keep it choked. Just let it warm up for a second, I suppose. Not bad. It's not great. That's not bad. Something tells me I should not be doing this right next to the hot sauce. Come on. Don't know about that, buddy. Don't know if that is a cold sputter or if that is a tuning sputter. But we will soon find out. Also, we might replace this tubing because, wow, this air filter kind of sucks. It's like perfectly not the right size. Alright, well the exhaust is pretty warm enough that I can't get down there and mess with the air filter anymore, so yeah, you guys hear that? Ready? And that's not. Let's see. Yeah, that's open airflow, and it's nice to it, but as soon as it dies out. So we do need to tune this. But we're making solid progress so far.
All right, that little screw right there. Yep, that one right there is the idle air screw mixture screw. I'm assuming that one controls both air and fuel because I don't see another one on here that I can tune. So that's the one we are going to be messing with when I reference the air to fuel ratio screw and messing with it. So I'm going to dive into tuning that now. We're going to start it up and see if we can get it to stop dying at the throttle blip. This is why I like carburetors, because all you need to tune it is a Phillips head screwdriver. Sometimes a flathead if it's a Holly. Which would look something like this. It's got an idle screw right there, it's got an idle return spring right there, and it's got this funny thing called an accelerator pump. Basically, an ATV carb is simple, a car carb is annoying, and we are completely off topic. So, let's key on, wiggle it, clutch brake thing on. Act like you don't want to start now. Oh, kill switch is on. Haha. Alright, so that's our idle right there. That's. Did you guys hear that? As I go in, it increases the fuel and air, and as I decrease it, it leans it out. So. Basically, you just want to go back and forth until you find that sweet spot. So, I'll let you know.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Normally by this point in the video, we have some solid progress made, and we do, but it's normally towards the finished side of the project, and this video actually took a lot longer to make than I thought it would, so we're going to take a second here and just relax. Just go to your fridge, get out a bag of popcorn, make some popcorn, and then realize you don't want said popcorn and throw it the fuck away, because you don't want popcorn. And then come back to this, make sure you hit the subscribe button on your way back, make sure you sit down on your couch, get nice and comfortable, crack open the Dr. Pepper that you forgot you grabbed on your way back from the fridge, and let's dive into something I want to talk to you guys about.
Since we're just sitting here, make sure you guys go check out the store at themischiefstore.com. It's okay, you can just leave the video open and tab over to the new page. If you're watching this on your TV, I know you got your phone handy. I got mine right here. I got my phone right here. You just go themischiefstore.com, no $, just themrstore.com. You can pick up all these license plates for a little bit cheaper than they always have been in the past. So make sure you guys go check it out. Make sure you guys at least go check it out and look at it, because I can see if you guys open the store and look at it and how many of you guys like the product so far. I know I like them. You guys seem to like them so far. So now they're a little bit cheaper for all of you. You know, you guys buy them, you guys like them. I can make it a little bit better on you guys. So you tell me what you like and we'll do some more with it. Also, Shopify, if you're listening, give me that sponsorship. I've been using the Mischief Store for over a year now, and you guys have done great, but I need that sponsorship. Come on. Come on. Give it here. You guys little AI bots behind the counter. You guys little spam callers. Come on. I need one of those. Give it here. Make sure you guys go check it out, and let's get back into working on the four-wheeler. The next part we're about to do is going to suck. Also, a fun little side note I forgot to mention. If you guys get a license plate and want to send me a picture of your car with it, I will put it on the website. There are pictures of all the cars that we've had so far with the license plates on them. And if you get a good picture of your car and want me to put it on the website, I'm more than happy to. So make sure you comment in the description of this video right here, or any of the ones in the past, but mainly this one right here, if you guys have a picture of your car with a license plate on it. Or if you get one, you know, in a week or two, make sure you come back to this video. Leave a comment, I will get in contact with you, and we will get it up on the website. So make sure you guys go check it out. I put a lot of work into it. Everybody else seems to like them, and there will be a lot more coming in the future. So thank you. Let's get into it. I'm totally not procrastinating. Alright guys, after trying to beat the tire for literally like 45 minutes yesterday, I built a bomb. And I'm not sure if it's going to work. But I literally messed with it for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes yesterday, trying to get this thing rebeated over and over, and I could not get it. So, we have a ratchet strap over it to try to keep that bead pressed. We're going to use some fire. Now this is a little bit sketchy, so kind of stand back, but I don't know exactly what I'm doing.
Now, it might just look like I'm mindlessly setting this tire on fire, and I mean, kind of I am, but there's also an art to it. You're supposed to put the starting fluid inside the rim like this, and then the pressure from the starting fluid igniting from the torch, as you're about to see him do right here, will cause the tire to rebead on its own. However, I was struggling and struggling and struggling and could not get it to bead, and instead just ended up lighting the tire on fire multiple times. And I tried the ratchet strap method. You can try ratchet strap in air, and that will sometimes let the bead pop out on its own. Then I used a ratchet strap in fire, which is not recommended, sometimes still works, and that didn't work either. And it just didn't work over and over and over. I used a hammer, I jumped on it, I smacked it, I did all sorts of different techniques, and we even had one right here that looked pretty promising. And it did not actually work. It was kind of just one of those little fairy dust things that make you hopeful, and it completely did not work. It just made me really, really sad. And then so I kept trying it, and I kept trying it, and I kept trying it, and nothing worked at all. So my lesson to you guys is just take it into your local tire shop and have them mount it, because you will waste 2 hours of your precious time that you cannot get back trying to do it, or at least I did. So take it into your local tire shop, have them mount it. It costs you like $5-10 at the most, and you'll have it done instead of struggling with it for 2 hours. If you guys enjoyed this destruction montage, please hit the subscribe button. And now that we have a fully inflated, bounceable, and beaded tire, let's go ahead and throw it on the four-wheeler. Oh, and by the way, I have one more thing to mention.
Alright, you guys will notice that the front looks all messed up, and that is because I got pretty fucking irritated working on that tire. And as you guys saw, we took care of it. So I moved on to the lights, everything on the front, because I knew that we have some sort of wiring issue up here. The rear tail light works with the brakes, it works great. It's the front one. So you can see we have one on and one off. So I've been trying to mess with it, and I've come to the conclusion it's probably the bulbs, because the mess of wiring under the hood, under the bonnet. Shall we look up under the bonnet? It is quite a wiring catastrophe, and I don't want to do anything about it. So, honestly, everything looks pretty fine. I'm going to make it look pretty, tie it all up, see if I can't figure out why this one light will not work, but I also don't have any bright stems or other modes. So it could be the switch or it could be the headlight. My guess is it's the headlight. Only one way to test that though. So like you guys can see, it's not turning on and off. So I don't know. That's where I'm at. So we'll get the tire put on it here in a few minutes and take it out for a rip, see how that carb is doing. Speaking of carb, actually, let me just show you. I know I told you earlier that we were gonna come back to it and I would show you, and I know I didn't, but I will now. So, key on, kill switch, clutch, brake, in. Ready? That's all I had to do. It's not even choked, although I could choke it. And I would lie if I said I haven't started it today, but I did only start it once to show Byron. He stopped by, and actually, he brought me the seat. So, there's that. But it starts right up. It seems to do pretty good, and once you let it warm up, it wants to take off. So, yeah, there's that. And it does this. Ready, ready, ready? That's much better. At least looks clean. We can deal with the headlights on their own. I will keep trying to do it on my own, but it's not something that really is worth trying to record over and over, because it's one of those I just test wires and test wires and test wires and test bolts and test wires. So if I figure anything out on that, I will let you know. But as far as this thing sits, let's mount the tire. I mean, that's really all that we have left to go. Make sure that the carb is tuned. Make sure that all the gears shift through. Make sure everything that works okay internally should, without actually taking it apart. Once we get there, it's minor lights, it's minor wiring. I mean, we'll be pretty close to done. So, I guess let's put that tire on. All right, when we're doing this, the only thing that we're really going to need is the impact with the correct socket and our tire. Now, keep in mind that you want the valve stem to be on the outside, and you can see our patch did in fact hold. So kudos to them for mounting it in 10 minutes. Not playing with it for 2 hours. That's time I'll never get back. But we're gonna hike it up here, drop things on the floor. It's tradition. Line up our bolts. Alright, there we go. Now keep in mind you want to do a star pattern, so we will go top one, and it's okay to give them zzz to make sure they are tight. And that is how you change an ATV tire the annoyingly fast way, since you know, they did all my work for me. Since mounting the tire is the easy part, I had a little bit of extra time and I went ahead and mounted some of the body panels, peeled off some of those stickers. Byron said I could go ahead and peel them off. So I peeled off some of the old stickers that were on it, mounted some of the body panels back up, because we need the body on it to take it out and ride it and test that carburetor out. So I went ahead and mounted everything up, peeled those stickers off, making sure everything was tight, and we took it outside. You guys will notice we're outside the garage, and that's because we're going to take it on a little test run. So, I have not started it in almost 2 hours. Key on, clutch, choke. Oh, but Hunter, why didn't you put the other panel on? You're missing a side panel. Because we're tuning it, and I figured I'd have to use some of this. So, starting fluid right into the air filter of the carb. Let us try this again. Ready? let's fix that.
See how it is all wibbly wobbly? It is not supposed to do that. Now I did notice that we have a loose lug nut, but something tells me that it could be more than that. So I'm going to tighten this down very quickly. Just give them a good, give them all a good star pattern. Tighten. How straight are we? Not. Not at all. Okay, let's take these off. What am I doing wrong? I know. Let's hit it with a hammer. Nicely. There we go. Oh my. Well, okay. Well, it very much could be the tire. I started doing this before I realized the camera wasn't recording. I realized this disc right here, I'm not 100% sure what it's for, but I'm sure it keeps it somewhat level, is all sorts of bent. Now they did say this was crashed and rebuilt, so let's keep that in mind. But I'm just gently straightening it out, eyeball mat style. And then I actually might get pretty technical and figure out how to make it precise, but we will see if this makes any difference. I want to say it's brass because of how easily it is moving with the hammer, but I don't know. I'm a mechanic, I don't know my metals that well. Since that is fine, we're going to turn our attention to the front tire, and really the only thing I've noticed with this, other than maybe it's not balanced perfectly, right, is the centerpiece is not level, and I think that is what's throwing us off, the center hub. So there we go. And I'm trying not to hit the same spot twice, and if I do, it is on accident, because I do not want to make this metal brittle. I just want to hammer it back in place. And I'm kind of letting the hammer bounce itself, as opposed to putting any real weight behind it. And it seems to be working pretty well. My uncle told me you get enough leverage and you'll move the world, and I stand by that. It's just about your leverage, and all I was doing was leveraging it right here, letting it fall. And if you guys can see, it worked pretty well. There's one spot there, I think, right next to the valve stem. Bounce, 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 bounce. I feel like the freaking lamp from Pixar. Boing, boing, boing. All done. Let's mount this back up and see if that is any straighter. It's like a tiny bit better. My official decree on the rim is that it's bent. The rim itself is bent beyond what I can fix, and I would recommend getting a new one at this point. So I'm going to tell Byron the same thing. I would recommend getting a new one, but for the time being, it's just a little bit wibbly wobbly. We'll see what we can do about getting one. Let's move on. The carb seemed to do okay during that ride. I didn't really notice anything from it. The tire was the only thing, and that weird clinking from the back. So let's see if we can find anything loose or anything that would make some noise. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is a shock test to see if it's the suspension. So I'd say that shock might be going out eventually. The actual strut, although it is a shock because the coil spring is mounted, if you guys didn't know the difference. Struts are by themselves. Coil springs have the spring. So, there you go. I don't know what could be making that noise. Tensioner. Could use some WD-40. Not the exhaust, not the rack, lights. See, I went over it and zip tied a couple of the wires and things down off camera because something I enjoy doing with some music and less on camera, which to each their own. We all have to have things that we enjoy doing, and you don't have to film them all. I didn't. So, I still don't know what is making our noise. So, to figure out what was making that noise, I took the four-wheeler back out to the driveway and did a bunch of circles. You can see me just doing a bunch of circles, staring down at the chain to see what is causing it to slip off. Something is causing the chain to come off of its sprocket. I've come to the conclusion that the chain is slipping, so we're going to use some Lucas chain lube. This stuff works wonders. Used it on the bikes. Excuse me, a lot of stuff in the past. And you just kind of cover the chain in it. Sprocket's okay. It's more like a degreaser, lubricant. I don't know, it works super well, and I like it. And I will forever use it. So it cleans it up nice. And we're also going to use some WD-40 on the brake spring, and more so the tensioner, because we noticed it was loose and squeaky, or tight and squeaky, sorry. And it should be acting loose and be keeping the chain from popping, and I think that's what's happening. So, let me test my theory. Yes, this means doing more fuck-ass circles. Just more circles around and around and around, staring at that tensioner, trying to figure out why the chain's coming off. And my quick and easy fix to this was putting a zip tie onto it, to try to hold that tensioner tight, try to keep it from opening all the way. And this helped a little bit, but not a ton. I also took a little bit of gray RTV, the nice goopy sticky stuff, that dries in about 30 minutes. It's pretty easy stuff. And it also comes right back off, so if buyer ever chooses to take these grips off and change them out, it won't be too hard to take them off. But just went ahead and put some on there, got them nice and tight, and we took it back out and did some more circles. Yes, more circles, lots and lots of circles. It was too many circles, to be honest with you guys, but it allowed me to come to a very secure conclusion on what was wrong with the chain.
I figure I have two things to clarify. One, we're not going to keep using a zip tie on that. That is a temporary solution so I can figure out what's wrong with it. Number two, I think it is actually these bushings that hold the rear axle. It is a little bit wiggly right in here where it meets the frame. This bolt right here has bushings and the rear end wiggles. And I think when we hit a bump that the chain is slipping off, and that is why. Which those are actually supposed to be here just a couple days after this video is going out. So we will get them swapped over. There will be a part 2 to this, but it will be kind of a lot shorter than this one. So stick around for that one, but let's move on to something else because I'm done chasing chain noises. There's too many circles.
Since I'm finally done doing all those fuck-ass circles, one of the last things to do is put that body panel on, the one that we kept off so we could tune the car, make sure we could put starting fluid in it, you know, everything that we just did. And I figure you guys deserve to know what I'm listening to.
It was a crisis. I gave her my secret blend of herbs and spices. Code 45 and 2 zigzags.
Are you happy that I just risked a copyright strike for you guys? Are you? Are you really? Are you really happy? Because if you are, you should go hit that like button and that subscribe button. You really should. You really should go do that right now while I'm still putting this body panel on and totally not struggling with it because it didn't take 20 minutes to put one body panel on. No, it didn't. It totally did not take 20 minutes for me to do this. And now that it's done, Byron came over and I walked him through very quickly what I had done to it. And I don't know. Let me just toss you guys in.
Yeah, I can't wait for those bushings.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just making the chain slide off. Everything else seems to be okay. You hear it though? You hear it slipping? It's because that bushing, everything else is tight. I got a zip tie on it and it's helping a little bit, but buddy? A little bit better than it was? Yeah, your front rim is bent though. I don't know if you saw it moving.
Yeah, I see that.
It's pretty bad. I couldn't straighten it out any bit better. A tire shop might be able to, but I just look into a new rim. It's not that much to get them reset. But she's a ripper.
After I said that, let's move on to something else. I realized that we had reached a stopping point on the four-wheeler, and there wasn't really anything else that we could do to it without having those bushings or getting some tie rods or other suspension parts. Everything on the back looked good, everything was tight, you know. Everything seemed to be where it needed to be and have the parts it needed. The tensioner seemed to be alright after some further inspection. We did take that zip tie off. Byron actually broke it off doing some wheelies when he came over, as you guys can clearly see right now. And they went okay. He did okay. We'll say that. He did okay. There were some okay wheelies. But you can hear that chain popping in a couple of those videos, and that's because the rear bushings on the rear axle are not tight. They are completely shot, as you can see, and they need replaced. So they will be here in about 2-3 days after this video comes out. It's unfortunate for the video, but it means there's a part 2. So if you guys want to see us put the bushings on it, see if he can do some better wheelies, and all in all just have a shorter, better, maybe a simpler video. My fingers are crossed for a simpler video, but you know that's never how it actually happens. Because we have bushings, maybe tie rods, some suspension parts to do, but as for basic maintenance, as for basic tuning, tune-up, carb, spark plug, oil change, etc., we did all that in this video. So if you guys enjoyed this, enjoyed watching me do this, enjoyed watching me struggle on that tire, because I will never do that again, enjoyed watching me learn how to do some things I didn't know, or maybe I taught you some things. If you guys learned some things, please let me know. Please hit that like button, please subscribe if I taught you anything, or even if you just enjoyed the video as a basic video and you're just watching it because you're bored. I appreciate that nonetheless. Thank you all for watching. Have a great, wonderful night, evening. I don't know what it is for you, but I hope it is a wonderful time. Please enjoy it, and I will see you all in the next video. Subscribe, comment, like, do all those things, please. Make sure you leave me a comment if you go to the website and you get a license plate, because I will put it in the store. You can have your vehicle on the store. Just let me know. We will see you all very, very soon. Bye-bye.
A quick shout out to my friend Carson for coming over and trying out my drip cart for the very first time. If you guys want to see that cart in action, we had a couple of videos posted, so make sure you guys go check them out. And you guys know what time it is. It's cinematic time.